One,
All right, we will call the meeting at 6:25. Erica's not here today, so we will be doing the transcription through Lackey. So can we get a roll call? Start with Commissioner Harris. Here. Commissioner Hicks.
Here.
Fire Chief. Here, sorry. Chief Police. Here. Internal Affairs.
here.
All right. Can you take a few minutes to look over the minutes for approval? Just for the record, for Erica's transcription, that was Chief Payne, Chief McMahon, and Director Lack.
But I can't vote. I wasn't here. You can vote.
Yeah, well, Brenda, can you make a motion and Mike can second it?
Make a motion to
Support, supported by Commissioner. So the minutes are carried, approved. We'll send a copy to the mayor's office as well as the city clerk's office. All right. Opening remarks. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome back. Everybody's back healthy. The mayor is unable to be here. She was in Lansing with the governor, so she did want me to tell everybody that she appreciates the job that's being done, and she has something at the next meeting to present to everyone. Just for your hard work and dedication. So she apologized for not being able to make it this evening. And with saying that, we're gonna go directly to the police department, Chief McMahon.
All right, great. Well, welcome back, everyone. Then happy holidays. So I wanted to touch base on an incident that we just had recently that involved a shooting at the Little Caesars and made the media. It was on the news, and I wanted to commend the staff for their prompt response and the actions of the Detective Bureau and the entire police department. The individual who was involved was taken into custody short time after the incident. And ultimately we received, how many charges today? 9 felony charges on this individual today. So he's a habitual offender, so I don't anticipate we will have to be dealing with him anytime soon. So, you know, the guys and girls did a great job, and you know, so I'm really proud of them as far as that goes.
Real quick, Chief, did he was a Highland Park resident, or was he from Detroit Rescue Mission, or what?
Yeah, it was a Highland Park resident.
Okay.
Yeah. Recently, the police department was involved in helping the veterans at the 211 Glendale Center. They had a pipe break over there, and they weren't able to house anyone. I believe the fire department, had to do a fire suppression, so they had to close the building. So we were able to the fire department and emergency Homeland Security were able to get Red Cross in there and get them situated. And then we were able to assist with security at the rec center temporarily for housing. And then ultimately we transported them all to a hotel, and that's where they've been the last couple of days. So it was a good effort by everyone involved, and you know, I think that should be commended. It you know, it was a lot of work setting up cots, you know, maintaining cleanliness of the facility, and you know, transportation and everything like that. So it was kind of a big undertaking, especially with limited resources and you know, with very little notice. So you know, everyone did a great job there. Since our last meeting, we've been able to outfit some new cars. We haven't introduced those to the fleet yet. We're kind of keeping them on standby as more of a reserve status right now. Because our fleet is still doing okay, so no sense in introducing them. Yeah, exactly.
So
So
what cars are we introducing to the fleet? What type of vehicles are they?
So the new vehicles are Explorers, they're police interceptors through Ford Motor Company. Which we purchased through my deal. So. We also added a new member to our team. I'd like to introduce Sherry Miller. She is our clinician associated with DWIN. And I gotta say, we put her to work immediately. She jumped in with both feet and she's been out there just doing a phenomenal job helping, helping citizens. Even helping internally, helping officers stay mentally healthy and she's doing a phenomenal job. So I would love to give her Sherry, anything you'd like to say?
No, just, I do not need a couch tomorrow.
She need a
Um,
couch.
No, just thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad for the warm welcome everybody I've been working with so far. It's a good fit, so far everything is going well, just doing what I can, to help out. And hopefully, my goal is to help, the number of arrests go down that's mental health related and get those individuals into treatment, whether it's short term, long term versus jail if it's not, required or necessary, so.
Well, thank you, welcome aboard.
Thank
you.
I know we've been waiting for it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I can say it's been very successful. Even hear from the feedback I've gotten from individuals who've been involved. She does a phenomenal job of getting in and making them comfortable with her. So, sometimes people don't trust the police. They don't want to disclose things that are going on, but they seem to give her a warm welcome. So that's been going very well. So.
And I'd like to thank Laverne there, for so having me, helping me out.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Monroe's been pretty active with DWIN behind the scenes. He's helped us get things going and it's really been a positive thing for our officers as well as the community, I think. So we're really excited to be partnered with them. Anything else we'll talk about? Nope, so that's about it. Just caught up.
Any questions for the chief? All right, thank you, chief. Move on to the fire department, Chief Payne.
Good morning, everybody.
Good afternoon, good evening.
As you got the stats that I always give you, sorry, they're boring. I included, the monthly stats for January and the year-to-date, stats for 2024 and 2025. As you can see from 2024, was our busiest year ever, and 2025 was even busier than 2024. January, we had 4 house fires. 3 of them were vacant. 2 of them were actually in the same building. And all of them were fought below zero weather. We're having issues with our water. Not just because it's sub-zero weather, but the water replacements, main replacements and service lines being replaced in the city. It's giving me a little bit of trouble whether or not we're gonna have water. The water department's pretty up on when they have a main break, or if we call them, let them know that we have low water pressure. They're pretty good at but we really don't know if the main's gonna, or the hydrant's gonna work when we get to it because of all the maintenance that they're doing on us. Let's see, top of the stats, the federal government changed the way they're reporting It used to be called Infers and now it's called Nearest. And so there'll be a change in the stats that, if you could see from January of last year, to January this year, a lot of the runs that we were, reporting as service calls now are either being reported as, like assist or, hazards. So that, service calls will be reduced to the actual, incident that it is.
So what you're saying is that we're gonna be, the categories are gonna be changed?
Yes.
Okay.
Status of the fire department, the last time we met, we had 3 engines and a ladder truck up in service. Currently, we only have 1 engine and the ladder truck again. One of the 3 engines was one that was, damaged in a, vehicle accident, but we've been keeping it because we need it. And the other engine, the one that was donated to us about 12 years ago from Bloomfield Township, it's out of service due to serious maintenance issues. We're hoping to find, cheaper, replacements here in the next, few months.
So we're just operating off of the one that you got from the other township?
Yes, the one that we purchased from Forts Creek back in June, I think it was. So hopefully. I do believe that's it with the fire department.
Any questions?
Yeah, Chief, what happens if that truck goes down?
Then that's why we're keeping, so we call that engine 1 and the engine that we refer to as engine 3. That's the one that was damaged in a vehicle or in the car accident on Davidson a couple years ago. So really, it's not reliable, but we have it in case.
So
It's
engine
our-
3 can still drive.
Yes, it still pumps, it can still work, but we keep it as a reserve, rather than, keeping it in frontline service.
And it was damaged in a car accident, a vehicle accident. Do we have insurance? And wouldn't the insurance fix it off?
Yeah, it was rear-ended on the Davidson, February, I think 2 years ago. But I do believe not only just being self-insured, I think with the cost of fixing it, we probably could have got another used vehicle. So that's why it wasn't fixed.
And it was rear-ended. Was that person apprehended or was it their fault?
It was icy conditions. We were on the scene of another car accident at the time and they lost control and, slammed into the rear of the
You
engine.
can't look to them to fix it.
I do believe, not sure, because I'm not a cop, but I do believe they did not have insurance. And they perished, so,
Oh.
Yes.
In the accident?
yes.
All right, and we're still operating, Chief, we're still operating on a mutual agreement with Hamtramck again?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Mike, if both trucks are down,
Then-
Hamtramck will trade us for this one.
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other question for Chief? All right, thank you, Chief. We're gonna move on to Internal Affairs, Director Lackey.
I have nothing for you at this time until public comment.
Okay. All right, well, we're gonna move on to public comments. We have 2 visitors today. Mr. Fisher, I will deal with you last. For the record, sir, can you state your name?
Absolutely. My name is Juan Shannon, and I am the Executive Director of the Parker Village Foundation, First Vice President of the NAACP Highland Park Grant, and the Chairman of the Highland Park Community Crisis Coalition. Really, I was here today to basically make myself known to all of you. A lot of you already know me. And to let you know about a project that we are working on at Parker Village, on our campus. We are building out a community transportation loop. And what that is will be, buses that will deploy from our campus and travel on a loop throughout the city in order to assist residents and most importantly, seniors to get around the city to do things that they need to do, like get to the municipal building, the post office, shopping, things like that. Because of the nature of what we're doing, with this transportation loop, we are also putting these will be electric buses, by the way. So they will be, charged by a new solar array We have electric vehicle chargers coming, which will be the first EV chargers here in the city. And within our security desk for these vehicles, we will also be offering some of our other services. We plan to have some security drones that will not only circle our property, but in the case of any need or whatever by law enforcement, fire, the city, we can deploy those drones to go wherever you need them to be. Our facility, our building will at some point be operational and can be used also for like warming center, cooling center, emergency vehicle stationing, whatever is necessary. So it's kind of a huge project, and I want to make sure to interface with everybody. And I'm going fast because I don't want to take up everybody's time. And if there's any questions or any information or anything that anyone needs, I'm definitely available, and I can pass out some cards at the end of the meeting.
Anyone have any questions?
Where are you located?
We are at 181 East Buena Vista, the former Thompson Elementary School. Yeah, we over there passing out food, water, and essential items to the community for the last few years.
And another question that I have, the transportation, is that just loop through the city of Highland Park, or do you take them to doctors' visits and outside of the city, or is it just for the city?
Right now, what we're looking at is just for in the city. There was a couple of suggestions made to us. We also are working with the school district to create a safe route. So they mentioned an idea of possibly transporting some of the students to the other schools that they have to go to. We're still exploring that. And there's, some other ideas that have been proposed to us. But our original mission was to just have a loop that would be reliable just in the city.
And the final question is, on the drones. How many drones are you talking about, and are there regulations and licensing and things like that that you all had to go through?
We're looking at having at least 2 drones. And yes, there's licensing and things that we have to have.
And so you have a process of obtaining those, you have obtaining them in,
But we have a drone pilot that is licensed, that is within our team. But our plan is to make everything Highland Park.
okay.
But we do have a pilot that is licensed.
And is this correlated through the police department, or is it just, I know you said that, you're available for them, but is that something that should be correlated through the police department, or is this a kind of individual or private situation?
That is exactly why I came up here to put that information out. I plan to set up an advisory board so that we can coordinate all those types of things and how it needs to happen. If it will be a backbone, hey, Juan, get a drone over to blah, 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 or however it works out, that will be set up with our advisory board, and we will add support.
Couple questions. Number one, where does your funding come from? Where is your building at? Those two.
We are a nonprofit organization, and so we have received funding from the state of Detroit, from the Ford Foundation, from the University of Michigan, several other organizations. We also, at the nature of the beast, we take donations. We also hold our own fundraising events and things of that nature. And as I mentioned earlier, we are in the old Thompson Elementary School building, which is on 181 East Buena Vista between Rush and Oakland.
Did you already purchase the electric vehicles or you're in the process of doing that?
We're in the process of closing on that.
Do you know what kind they're gonna be yet or not yet?
I do not know which the exact date that everything will come online. We are planning for a May 5th groundbreaking event. And so far, that's the only solid date that we have.
So pretty much everything that you're doing right now is in the embryonic stage or being finalized, nothing is actually up and running as far as those things, correct?
Yeah, we'll say yes on that. I've been working on it for a couple of years now, and at this point, it's kind of more of an imminent thing, which is why I felt it necessary to make myself known to everyone as we move forward. You know, I don't want to, get all the way there.
Right.
They're like, hey, we're turning this on tomorrow. What do you guys think?
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have you presented, to the city council yet? Have you heard city council?
But the process goes to CED department and then the planning commission. I had a meeting with the CED department already, and we are waiting for the date for the planning commission meeting. That is in process.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, thank you for your time and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, the next agenda item is Mr. Fisher. He is here today to appeal his disqualification from the City of Highland Park Police. He put in an application last year in July. And through the process, he was disqualified. So he's here to appeal the decision. And I'm going to allow you some time right now to explain your situation and appeal your case before us right now.
Yes, sir. Morning to you all.
Okay, state your full name for the record, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Caitlin Fisher. I applied, I believe, last January.
I'm just looking at the application here. It says 7/2/25.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I've
so
been
that's
in
July.
I'm sorry.
That was July from what I saw in here.
Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
He has two. This was the second one?
yeah, sure.
Okay, this was the second application or
It's a
a
bigger
follow-up from the other one?
That was sent to HR.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I've been in the process with Highland Park for quite some time.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So if I can just provide a little clarity on that, the initial application was for reserve status.
Okay.
The secondary was for
This is permanent.
to be a licensed police officer.
So that the one from July is the one that we're dealing with.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I got involved with the process. In fact, I have a letter here. I'd like to, if you all permit it,
Go ahead.
I can read. It says, greetings to you all and thank you for permitting me some time out of your busy schedules. To make an appeal, to make an attempt to appeal a permanent disqualification decision due to an error of mine. Was it an error? Yes. And there is certainly no excuses for such a mistake. This mistake was made out of my passion and eagerness to rush the hiring process in which I have been in for so long, which resulted in me overlooking questions and not answering them properly. I must agree that me failing to overlook documents prior to submitting them should not go unpunished. I do agree with that. I agree that I should be punished for that. I also must agree with that same passion and eagerness, I have shown my interest to work for this city, from helping to pass out water during a small water crisis, to the citizens with our mayor, to exercising great restraint and patience during a years-long hiring process. In addition, I nearly pushed myself to exhaustion to pass the police physical agility test. And up to my knowledge, I'm the largest person in the state of Michigan to complete that test. I passed it at 305 pounds. All of this to take up the oath and responsibility to protect all those in this city. I decided to make this public. I decided to make this appeal in the public so that the public could decide. And whatever decision that the public makes, I must submit to it, because it is they that I am attempting to serve. That was all. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, it's not up to the public, but, you're appealing to the police commission, okay?
Yes, sir.
We do operate independently of the police to a certain extent, but not to a large extent.
Okay.
My question to you is, first of all, why were you DQ'd from employment here?
Oh, I thought you were about to say
No,
something.
actually,
Go ahead, sir.
so I think I want to clarify one part of his statement that he made. So he was given an opportunity to appeal with the police commission in a private setting or a public setting. And he opted to appeal this in a public setting. So with that being said, there are going to be some things presented today that, you know, may call on the character, the question his character, and they're going to be publicly presented. But that is at his own wish. Okay, so.
And
Thank you,
do you understand what he just said, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you in agreement with it? Because once we start this process, whatever comes out of this meeting is public, is being broadcasted. And so understand that whatever happens, the public will see it at this point.
10%.
Okay, so back to my initial question, why were you DQ'd from Highland Park?
I failed to mention that I was under investigation at Wayne County on that specific packet. The agency knew, but I was rushing through the packet.
And why were you removed from employment with Wayne County?
I was not. I put in my 2 weeks and I resigned.
Due to what circumstances?
They weren't, well, I spoke with my sergeant, the afternoon shift sergeant there at the time. If I came out of the police academy, I'd be right back in corrections. I was tired of corrections. I don't mind it from time to time, but full-time, 2 years, we worked 6 days a week, 16-hour shifts. And I worked in an all-male facility. I wanted to go to the police academy. I wanted to work the streets. And my sergeant straight told me, he said, "I'm sorry, Bishop, we can't offer you that here." He said, "You better off trying your chances for DPD." And I left.
Okay, so now you were under investigation with Wayne County.
Yes, sir.
So can we talk about that? Why were you under investigation?
They wanted to see whether or not I was distributing drugs within the Wayne County jail.
Mhm.
So I was questioned. I was brought in for questioning for that. They weren't wrong for that at all. And the drugs were coming in through the mail. It was going to specific inmates on my ward. So the drugs were being passed around in the jails. And they wanted to question me to see if I had any involvement in that, which I did not. And I don't want to bring other people into it to make it seem like I'm trying to take the heat off myself. That's absolutely not what I'm doing. But the entire afternoon shift was under investigation for that.
I do understand that, I'm aware of that, but I'm gonna turn it over to Investigator Lackey for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Director Lackey, what have we come up with as far as the investigation? What was done or?
So I had a opportunity to speak with Mr. Fisher, I think February 1st. And subsequently, I sent him a set of questions on February 2nd to be answered. I informed Mr. Fisher that based upon his wanting to appeal the process, that I would look into it personally, as I didn't start his background or process it towards the end. And subsequently found out some additional information that was not known to us at that time. And we have a PowerPoint to show you about what those facts are.
Okay, can we start the PowerPoint, please?
Sure. So
Ms. Fisher, if you would like to come
Yeah,
up,
you
you
come
can bring the chair over here, sir.
Your mom, if you want, we can read positional.
Like moving.
Okay, understandable.
all right, so original application, it was February 4th, 2025. There was a interview by the reserve unit in April of 24.
That's a typo.
I'm sorry, in 25, I apologize, in 25. At that time, Mr. Fisher claimed that he disclosed the Wayne County investigation in that interview. In July 2nd of 25, another application was submitted, an entry application, which is a little thicker. And then on December 13th, 2025, we received a personal history packet. That's an MCOS document, a Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards document that has to be notarized. And in that notarization, the candidate swears to affirm that the facts in the application is true. On this particular application, Wayne County Sheriff's Office was excluded.
Also, just so the board knows that, the commission knows that it also references omissions. So.
Upon initial review, yes.
Okay, so for the record, from Jones and the chief, DPD was excluded from this reference package as well as Wayne County Sheriff, which falls under omissions that will disqualify, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So, Mr. Fisher did get hired by the Detroit Police Department and had attended the academy. I don't know if Mr. Fisher wants me to talk about the reason why he's not in the academy at Detroit or not. Or if that's, what would you like me to tell them, or would you like to know?
Detroit wasn't mentioned in that packet?
That-
Personal history statement.
On the personal history statement,
Which one is that one?
the MCOS form.
That's the
It
one that you have to
was.
get notarized.
It was.
It was not, it's only two that's.
Do we have that in this
Yep,
package? Okay, which page is it?
it will be this application. I feel third on your last one. You have Henry Ford Hospital,
Which page is that, Jones? At the bottom?
it's gonna be
You have
like
a
the
number?
last
or
packet, number,
It's just in the last packet?
yeah.
Oh, you're speaking of in terms of employment?
Yeah.
Like was I hired by them and worked for them? And it's in my like my employment history?
Correct, yes.
Okay. They were mentioned in the packet though, twice.
Well, this is the MCO packet, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, they were mentioned in that packet. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's what we're pulling up right now, and it said it's not, correct?
It's not mentioned in his employment
right.
section.
Can you pass that page along for us real quick so we can look at it, please?
And again, just to provide a little more context. When you're in the police academy in the city of Detroit, there are opinions there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Look at number 5.
Error on my behalf. It would be this- Excuse me.
So you do understand, sir, that when we talk about omission, it's the same as lying, that it's looked at that you omitted something or you left it out. And that's still a reason for DQ, so it would be the same as if you lied, you omit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, you rushing through something is not a viable excuse and why it's not on there, okay? Would anyone else like to take a look at this? No, okay, that's what I told, please, okay, continue, recollect.
So upon initial review, there was no disclosure of a drug-related investigation found in any documentations in relations to him leaving employment with Wayne County Sheriff's Office. In December 2025, the applicant, Mr. Fisher, spoke with Investigator Jones and made a statement that says, "Remember, I told y'all I was under investigation with Wayne County." And this statement prompted Jones to re-review everything just to make sure that we didn't make an error. So the reason for him leaving Wayne County, according to the application that we did have, when we found out when we found out about Wayne County, was that there was no room for advancement, not that he resigned under internal affairs investigation. And there was no mention of any investigation found in any of the submitted documentation. So, January 27, 2026, we issued a disqualification letter, based upon the discrepancy between the verbal claims and the written documentation. Subsequently, we visited Wayne County with the information disclosure, sheet. I also informed Mr. Fisher that we would visit both Detroit Police Department and Wayne County Sheriff's as part of our investigation anyway. And we found several other departmental violations and disciplinary actions taken by Wayne County Sheriff's Office. One of the questions that I asked Mr. Fisher particularly was, were you ever informed or did you engage in an intimate encounter in a publicly owned building while on duty at the Wayne County Sheriff's Office? He says intimate, yes, but of a sexual nature, emphatically no. My girlfriend at the time, who was an employee at Wayne County, saw me, sat on my lap, hugged me tightly, kissed my face while in the presence of others. Our lips never touched once. It was out of the spirit of I miss you and I'm happy to see you, but not of a sexual nature. I was accused of being sexual in nature. But it was calumny. I agreed that the word intimate, because of definition, means that it means closely acquainted and familiar, and never have I been found having sexual intercourse or relations with anyone while in a publicly owned building, nor have I ever been found harassing anyone of a sexually or using sexual slurs towards anyone in a publicly owned building. Subsequently, we were able to obtain these pictures from a 360 camera in one of the working areas at the Wayne County Jail. And it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but these three pictures, this is Mr. Fisher, and appears to be a female Wayne County employee as well. So these are, and subsequently, we also got a resignation letter from him to Wayne County, where he says, I regret to inform you that I'm resigning as a deputy sheriff. My last day is June 20th, 2023. Due to unforeseen personal issues, I am unable to carry out the duties of my role, and I felt it best for the company's interest that I vacate the position. This is not an easy decision to make, and I hope my departure will not cause any convenience for the company. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Sheriff's Office for the knowledge and experience I've gained by working here. I am grateful for the time that I've spent on our team and the professional relationships I have built. It was a pleasure working here, and I wish the department well. This is just the separation report where it shows his date of departure. So the Sheriff's Office has him as resigned in an internal affairs investigation. Okay.
So that's their official classification, that while on the investigation, he resigned.
Correct.
Okay. Now you mentioned DPD. What's the situation with Detroit Police Department?
So at some point, he had started the Detroit Police Academy, and Detroit had come in contact with Wayne County Sheriff's Office and was informed of the investigation, which they stated they didn't know anything about. So that's what happened there. From what I got. Mr. Fisher may be able to tell you something more in depth.
Mr. Fisher, can you explain why you were DQ'd, why you were in the academy? What is the official reason?
At that time, I felt that it wasn't necessary to release at that time. I felt like it wasn't necessary to bring it up because I wasn't found responsible of in result of the investigation. And the investigation took place, I believe in August of 2022. I was questioned in January 2023. I left the Wayne County Sheriff's Office June 19th, I believe, June. So 6 months after I was questioned about the investigation, that's when I left. I passed MCOs in May. I spoke to the sergeant. I don't recall the exact dates I spoke with the sergeant. He was the one that told me to go to DPD. That is the only reason I left. If I had opportunities to work road patrol or the SWAT team while at, in fact, could you bring up the exact words that I spoke to you concerning that question that I believe it was question 4. But while he's pulling that up, I was removed from the Detroit Police Department's police academy for failure to mention that. And I agree with that decision 110%. So when I got here, I made sure I mentioned it to them verbally, and I put it on the other packet. There was another packet present that I filled out where I placed that on there, but not in detail. So I'll give them that. Go ahead.
So the packet.
Okay, so first of all, young man, I'll run this meeting.
Yes, sir, yes,
That's good, that's great, okay?
Yes, sir, I want to speak over.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, go ahead.
So the packet he's talking about is the Highland Park packet. It's a bigger packet, more in depth. So the question that was asked, which is not related to employment, was have you ever been investigated, contacted or interviewed as a suspect or witness by any law enforcement agency or any reason? He put Wayne County, January 2023. Question to see if I was in possession of drugs, which I was not. But it's not related to his employment. In this same packet, he put the reason why he left it because it was no longer advancement. So I did talk to the sergeant that he's speaking of, and when I talked to him, he basically said, coming out of correction, I mean, you're going to be there for a long time. But ultimately, they were investigating him, had him on camera, during that time, they had a large group of a shift that was taking pieces of paper with like WD-40 or fentanyl on it, saturating it, handing it to prisoners, and they have him on camera taking pieces of paper from one prisoner and taking it to another area and giving it to another prisoner. Now, during his interview, it said, well, he mentioned, well, if they're passing notes and I'm going that way, why can't I just take the paper? So the only reason it wasn't any charges is because they didn't have any evidence to actually test the paper. So, yeah.
One more thing I want to mention is, this investigation, was both administrative and criminal. And the criminal portion was conducted by a federal agency. And sometimes, in these cases, it doesn't just happen overnight.
Correct.
It takes time, so.
Administratively, do we know if any of the shifts that was investigated, are they still employed or?
No,
Okay. So they're not.
nope. And they also mentioned that his partner also overdosed off fentanyl and was rushed to the hospital because he touched a piece of paper.
So,
Go ahead, Chief.
Commissioner. So I guess to provide clarity, you know, when we do these investigations and we interview individuals, a lot of it comes down to integrity. There's a lot of times when someone discloses something fully, you know, if it's not of criminal nature and things like that, you know, we can look into it and sometimes, you know, it's forgivable. There's things that we can overlook and there's things that we can, work with. In this case, it wasn't simply the fact that there were omissions of information on the documents. It really came down to a conduct issue. And we felt that although he was not criminally convicted of a crime with Wayne County Sheriff's, and, you know, we could not with 100% certain say that he was aware that he was moving documents that contained narcotics. We could say at the very least, that was not appropriate conduct by the deputy in the jails for transporting what ultimately could be contraband from one cell to another. So, you know, with the omission, with the conduct in the jail, I was also, I believe there was a question answered, was there, you know, a physical kiss between him and his girlfriend in the jail? And he had indicated there wasn't, when in the picture, it clearly shows them, you know, engaging in a kiss inside while on duty, which again is that's, you know, inappropriate. Is it the worst thing in the world? Probably not. However, it's the totality of everything that we made a decision that, you know, he simply just didn't meet our standards. Which, you know, as far as I know, that's a pretty standard thing in the police world. You know, you can base your decisions on, you know, what standards you want to set for your department. And it just didn't meet those standards.
Ms. Fisher, I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions. You know, you worked in corrections. So your contention is that you just passed something from one inmate to another before you were coming fast, correct?
Passing things,
This, that's a yes or a no. You took something from one inmate and you took it to another inmate.
which was common in corrections, which is common.
Okay, no, I asked you, that's a yes or no.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, now my next question to you, even though you say it's common. The inmates have a kite system, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's how they communicate with their kite system. Where you as a correction officer should not be taking anything from any inmate to give to another inmate, correct?
That's correct.
That's what you're trained for, right?
Yes, sir.
So what you just told me is it's common, you're violating policy.
That's true.
Okay, so that's what I wanna get at, okay? So when the chief talks about integrity and all that to be part of this department, I want you to understand what you did, even if you weren't convicted, it's still an integrity issue for us because you violated your own department's policies. And you're trying to negate that as though you did. Okay,
That is not the case.
if you telling us that you took something and you handed it to somebody else and that's commonplace, that's not your departmental policy. And that's not what you're trained when you go to the corrections academy. Matter of fact, it goes under anatomy of a setup, correct? That you should not be dealing with anything dealing with them outside of what your official duties are. They have a kite system. Okay? Once you get involved to take something from one of them and give it to somebody else, you violated your policies.
That's true.
So again, it comes down to an integrity issue again for us, as the chief said. And not once have I heard you say that I messed up. What you did was made a provision that you did it by saying it's commonplace.
Okay, so that's what you're saying.
Okay? So again, coming before us right now is still an integrity issue because of what you just did.
I'll be me not confessing that I messed up. I was
Yeah.
a rookie officer.
I mean, but you're not a, you've already gone through the process, okay? We're here right now. You work for the county. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie officer, doesn't matter if you're a seasoned officer.
Okay.
You went through training to know the protocol of how inmates communicate with other inmates through their kite system.
Does every officer follow,
Doesn't have to be every officer. We're talking about you.
100%.
It doesn't have to be every officer. We're talking about you because you're here in front of us.
I'm a part of the officer, I was a part of the officer, back at the time. Does every officer follow every policy 110%?
That means
Every officer has at one point in time, a broken policy.
I can't say that. And if you did, then you're saying that
Not
you
counting.
violated. Okay. I can't say that, okay? My expectation and our expectation in Highland Park is that you follow all the rules. There's no deviation. Okay, so again, when you tell me that you're part of a pack and you're gonna do what everybody else does, that's a compromising situation where your whole unit is under investigation for drugs. So what you just set up and told me is that you're going to follow your pack. Okay, so again, integrity issue for us. I think you need to think about that going forward to understand why you got disqualified from Highland Park and just for what I just said, the integrity of it. And as the chief said, maybe if you had came up and said up front, but you're in front of this commission right now and I see an integrity issue. Right? And it's just the way that you're answering the questions and the way that you're minimizing your involvement in what happened to your extent, not criminally, but just violating your own department's policies.
And what it is, sir, is it's like I'm being accused of like blatantly doing it. You know what I'm saying?
We're not accusing you of blatantly doing anything other than, but omitting that what happened, right? We're not here to say whether you were guilty or not.
Right.
Okay? But we have a policy that, just like DPD, same thing. Once they found out, you were disqualified.
Yes.
So that's no matter what law enforcement agency is going to be, if you're not upfront with it. And if you're not upfront with it all the way through, then once it comes to light, I don't care if you were here for a year, you would have got fired. Okay, so again, going forward, I would just say you need to be upfront with everybody and let them know what's going on.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
is there anything else that you would like to present?
I have nothing else.
That you would like to present, Mr. Fisher?
If possible, could we go through the questions and answers, that you submitted to me and that I submitted to you?
Commissioner,
Can we just go-
if I may,
Go ahead, sir.
I don't know that that is going to change the outcome.
Right.
Because like I said, what we saw was a conduct issue. And to answer, his question, is every officer perfect? Certainly not. However, usually don't start off. And in this case, that's exactly what we would be doing. But we'd also be compromising our standards we've set in place. Are we desperately looking for officers? Absolutely. Would I love to hire this individual? Yes. I don't know him personally. He could be a great guy and he could have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he could have unintentionally omitted this information. None of that is relevant to the decision we made. We made the decision based on what we had in front of us and what we saw. It's my understanding he may be in the process with other agencies, and if they take him, I wish him the best of luck. I have no real will towards this individual, nothing's personal. It just, he does not meet our standards. So going through all the questions and the answers, I don't even know if that would change, the outcome, because everything that we based our decision on, he's acknowledged. But again, we run the commission,
Well, we've already been given your questionnaire prior to you coming, so I don't think it's necessary for the Director Lackey to go through that.
Could I do it for the public's interest?
I'm not gonna allow it at this time. I think that the information provided in your statement is enough for us to make a decision.
So I was totally defamed, but I have no position to.
You're not being defamed here. We're not defaming you. You wanted to come before this body to appeal the decision of you being DQ.
Yes.
The only information that has been given today is the information based upon why you were DQ. And that's it. And we started off by telling you that this was going to be public before we even allowed you to speak.
Correct.
You decided to go forward. And matter of fact, I believe the chief even made a statement that this is going to be like that. Yes. So it's not about, you being defamed. It's about the information that was given to this department. And it's about the information that was given during the investigation. That's the only thing we've done. We've given you an opportunity to explain everything, haven't you?
Not quite.
Well, you set up and told us what happened, what you felt happened, why it happened. So at that point, haven't given an opportunity. You read a statement, right, to us, right?
I would just like to go through the questions and answers that I submitted to the gentleman. That'll better help answer and cover up some of the confusion.
There's no confusion at this point. I mean, the police department has presented their case and you presented yours. We already have read over your questions. We've already stated where the miscommunication or the omissions came at based upon your question, as well as your applications, both times. From your initial one in January or February that you were reserved, and then to your initial one for permanent employment in July. Yes, as well as December. So again, I don't think that those questions, they're relevant to the information based upon why you were DQ. And if they were relevant, I would definitely allow them. So I'm not trying to slight you, but I don't think that that's a relevant portion for us at this point. Okay.
I would like to add one more thing, just for clarity and clarity in the situation. This is one of our policies. This is policy 605. It's a Brady policy. It actually comes from Supreme court case law, Brady versus Maryland. And basically, exculpatory evidence or evidence that deals with a person's character, that information has to be given. So if a person has a veracity issue or a credibility issue and they testify in the case, we must inform the defense attorney and that person of that issue. With the issues stated prior to our agency, if Mr. Fisher was considered to be hired, we would also need an additional approval from the prosecutor's office to ensure that they would not put him on the do not testify list based upon the veracity issues. And we would actually be violating our policy by hiring him.
All right, well, at this point in time, Mr. Fisher, we will make a decision of your appeal. The chief will get back with you in writing based upon our decision.
So, what I would request from the commission is just a written determination,
Yes, sir.
and then, we can forward that through HR.
Okay.
Yep.
That will happen. So, the commission will, discuss it after everyone is gone, and we will make a decision. And you will be notified of our decision. Thank you for your time. Yeah, thank you all. All right, do we have anything else? All right, with that being said, Aki, can you, turn this, pause everything, and can we ask all visitors to leave, so we take a vote on the.
The commission wants to use my office. Okay. You guys can just go in there.
No, because I rather for this witness who can open, so. Okay. Just,
All right, so stop the stream.
actually, Mr. Fisher, the only one that asked me for the,
Okay.
And I'll get you bring it on this bill, but anyway, so we got to vote.
I didn't know if you guys wanted to
Well,
converse on it.
we can, well, yeah, we can do that. We can take a break and we'll come in. So why don't we'll pause for 15 minutes at 7:22. We'll reconvene in 15 minutes. All right, we are back on record at 7:28. And we have just discussed the findings from, Mr., is it Kaylan Fisher?
Yes.
And it is the, decision of the commission that the disqualification of Mr. Fisher stands based upon the information provided today. Okay. With that being said, do we have any other, remarks from anyone?
No, sir.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? All right, motion to adjourn, meeting